What's up guys, it's the T-Ball and I am back with another video. Before I start, if you guys could hit that like button and subscribe for more NBA, Brooklyn Nets, and Jeremy Lin videos. Your support is greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so if you're not subbed, be sure to hit that sub button as your support is greatly appreciated. So tonight we're going to be going over Jeremy Lin and the Brooklyn Nets lost to the Orlando Magic and referees. They lost by a score of 115 to 107. Some key box score stats: Jeremy Lin with 32 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. He also had 2 turnovers, 5 personal fouls for a plus minus of minus 11. He played 31 minutes. He shot 11 of 20 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3-point range, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line. His 32 points tonight was a season high and his first 30-point game of the season. So it was great to see Lin play just flat out great today, and I'm definitely going to get more into him later. Caris LeVert played great. He had 20 points, and he scored, I want to say, 12 in the fourth quarter. Double check me on that, but whenever the Nets needed a bucket, when Lin, he got a little cold early in the fourth quarter, he wasn't really hitting his shots. LeVert was driving to the rim. He was hitting these crazy lay-ins, good finishes. He hit a three, he hit some jumpers, and LeVert just looked great tonight, and you can definitely see why Nets fans and Jeremy Lin fans both are so high on LeVert. He has a ton of potential. I think he can be, in a way, like Nick Batum, if that makes sense. He can be more. He can be a scorer, a distributor, a rebounder. He can really do it all, and he's a very smooth player. If you just watch him play, he just glides to the rim. He plays smooth, great defense on against opposing players, and it's just great to see LeVert develop this year, and hopefully he can become even better for next year. So Brook Lopez with only 10 points on 4 of 13 shooting from the field and 0 of 5 shooting from 3-point range. He was also 2 of 5 from the free throw line, and he just couldn't get anything going tonight. Lin and other players found him for open shots, open threes, open push shots, and Lopez just could not finish on shots tonight. I mean, it happens to everyone. He's been playing great over the past 5 or 6 games, so it's expected that Lopez might have an off night, just like any other NBA player tonight. So hopefully Lopez can play well over the last 3 games, and hopefully he can get the Nets scoring record. I think he's around 30-something points, maybe somewhere around 30 points away from the Nets all-time franchise leader in points scored, so hopefully Lopez can get it by the end of this season. So for a quick recap, the Nets were playing well in the first quarter. They were up 3 after 1. In the second quarter, they were playing very well at one point, but then at the end they kind of lost it on some bad defensive plays. On the last play, Peyton got all the way to the other end of the court to beat the buzzer on a lane attempt. Not good defense. At the end of the first half, the Nets and the Magic were all tied at 50 points apiece. In the third quarter, it was just the Jody Meeks show. He scored 18 points alone in the third. He was hitting contested threes, open threes. He drove to the rim for some lay-ins, and he really just couldn't be stopped. And the Nets really couldn't do anything about it. The Nets were just contesting his shots. He was just burying them. It was like straight through the bucket, and some guys are just so hot that even if you put your hand up right in their face, they can go blindfolded. They can just straight up hit the shot. So it is what it is, and hopefully over the Nets' last 3 games, the Bulls and Celtics, hopefully no other player goes on a Jody Meeks run tonight. And if there's no Jody Meeks run over the last 3 games, I definitely could see the Nets taking at least 2 of those last 3 games, but I'll get more to that later as well. So the Nets tried to make a comeback in the fourth quarter, but they just couldn't do it, as I'm going to get more to this later as well. The referees were just giving unfavorable calls to Jeremy Lin and the Nets, specifically Lin, and I'll point out a couple examples later. For Jeremy Lin, he was amazing tonight. He scored 32 points, as I said before, which is a season high for him. His shot has returned. His threes looked money. He did have, I want to say, two air balls on threes, and one of them was when he just pulled up on a heat check from 27 feet, which is, it is what it is. And on the other air ball three was when Lin had the ball with like 3 seconds left in the corner. He's guarded by Vucevic, and Vucevic had a great contest, and Lin just missed a shot. But besides that, his threes were on point. His shot was on point. His drives were great. It looks like his speed is almost at 100%. He did bang knees with Peyton at one point, so hopefully he's all right. And it was just nothing. And he also played good defense on as well. He had 2 steals and 1 block. He played some great team defense. And Lin just played a great game tonight. It was probably his second best game of the season, in my opinion. The first being the Pacers game in the Nets home opener. But Lin was just great tonight. And it's just great to see Lin come back to his scoring ways. As just throughout the season, Lin has been more of a he's been trying to get the other players and his teammates involved. He wants to get them open shots, open buckets, and get everyone else to score. And then after they score and everyone's on a roll, then he'll try to find his shot. But tonight, Lin looked for a shot, took 20 shots, which is also a season high. So great to see Lin being very aggressive with his shot. As I said before, Lopez had a poor game with only 10 points. But, everyone has a rough game, so hopefully he can bounce back. But what I want to get to was the refs were extremely biased against the Nets and Lin, specifically Lin, and I want to point out a couple examples. For the first one, Lin, he drove to the rim. He was being guarded by 2 guys. I want to say it was Aaron Gordon who just, unintentionally, he just flat out smacked Lin in the face. And it was pretty obvious. There was a ref like a couple feet away from him, and there was no call. If you guys don't know, flagrant one fouls are usually called when a player hits the opposing player above the shoulders, usually on the head, around the neck, and around those areas. And with Lin being smacked on the head, that could have easily been a flagrant 1 foul, but Lin didn't even get, a normal foul, which is just, it's been the story of Lin's career, in my opinion. We've seen multiple times, when Lin was in Houston, in LA, in Charlotte, Lin would just drive to the rim, he would get smacked in the head, he'd be like smacked just all over the place, and he wouldn't even get any calls at some points. I remember Wesley Johnson at one point, unintentional of course, but he smacked Lin right in the nose. Lin got a nosebleed, no foul was called. In the playoffs, Rockets versus Blazers, Aldridge had elbowed Lin's face unintentionally, but Lin only got a normal personal call foul, and he only got 2 free throws. No flagrant was called. If you go back to that clip, it could have easily been called a flagrant too. But, of course, for some reason, Jeremy Lin just doesn't get calls, whether it be because he's, Asian. I'm not trying to play the race card or anything, but that definitely could play a pretty big part in that reason why. And, hopefully, if I have time, which I'm really busy, I really wanted to make like a part 2 of the Jeremy Lin 2 flagrant to call video, but we'll see. But for whatever the reason, the refs just don't call, any fouls in favor of Lin. And I'm going to even get to this other one where later in the first quarter, Lin was called for a phantom foul for quote-unquote hitting Biyombo, where Lin, he just swiped for the ball. I don't think he really had any contact with Biyombo. I don't think he hit his body or anything like that. But, the refs, let's just call a foul on Lin. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And in the in the fourth quarter, Peyton got 2 free throws on a call where it looked like a pretty clean swipe from Lin, where he got all ball, and Peyton got 2 free throws, and he that swung the game around, with Peyton bringing the Magic lead to 10 points at that point. And then, Lin, later in the fourth quarter, he drove to the rim. He was whacked, no call. And I also want to point out this one. This was a very interesting play where, with about 1 minute left, the Nets were down 7. They were trying to get a bucket. It was much needed. when players inbound the ball with a minute left with their team down around 6 or 7, right? The usually the point guard who's bringing the ball up the court will not touch the ball, as the ball will be rolling um, to the just on the floor. So say if the point guard touches the ball, that's when the timer starts. But if the point guard or the ball handler does not touch the ball at all, the ball's just rolling across the floor, the timer should not have started. But Lin, for some reason, he didn't touch the ball. It looked like he touched the ball, but he didn't. And the timekeepers just started the clock. And then when Lin saw that he lost 6 seconds from this, I guess you can call this mishap by the timekeepers, he was very frustrated, and he was so frustrated and yelling at the refs and the scorekeepers that the ball almost went out of bounds. But that was a very weird play. It was very interesting to see how the time keepers missed that. I mean, that definitely had, an impact on the game. I mean, the Nets were already down 7, but still, Lin was forced to chuck up a deep 3 so he can make sure the Nets have enough time to even try to make a comeback, and he missed it, and the Magic eventually got 2 more free throws, and that sealed the game. So that's a wrap. Sorry I kind of sound disorganized and out of it. I'm just so busy. I had like 3 tests yesterday, didn't get much sleep, and but I still wanted to get up this video. It was great to see Lin score 32 points, and I'm pretty sure the Nets will be playing against Chicago in the next game on Saturday. So hopefully the Nets can bounce back and take the win. If they win against the Bulls, the Celtics, and in the season finale against Chicago, the Nets can and the Phoenix Suns lose all of their remaining games, then the Nets can actually leapfrog the Suns in the standings, and the Suns will have the worst record and not the Nets. So that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like. Tell me your thoughts on this game down in the comments below, and I will see you guys soon for Saturday's video. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.